Welcome back everyone to the curricular video series. After a little break, today we're going to be discussing the topic of austerity in deprived urban neighborhoods. Sander van Lanen is an assistant professor in urban poverty and inequality at the Faculty of Spatial Sciences at the University of Groningen. His research focuses on the geography of poverty, inequality and social exclusion, especially in cities. He's also the co-coordinator of the research group Transitions and Social Justice at the Rodolphe Agricola School for Sustainable Development. Dr. van Lanen authored a paper that delves into the emergence of austerity in the life world of urban youth in Ireland. I invited him today to discuss the nature and impact of his research.
This paper was based on three methods. The first one was a policy analysis of austerity policy implemented in Ireland since the 2008 financial crisis. And this was an analysis done from the perspective of especially young adults. Then the most dominant or the most important method was interviews with over 30 young adults living in disadvantaged urban areas, so Knocknaheeny in Cork and Ballymun in Dublin, both in Ireland, to gather their experiences, to talk about how their life changed over the past few years. And finally some interviews with, which I call gatekeeper interviews, with kind of organizations working with youth and young adult in these areas to kind of see what they noticed in long-term places or in their interactions with young adults. So basically interviews with different groups and a policy analysis to be able, when you hear about experiences, you can connect them to the actual policies being implemented. There are a few things that surprised me, or actually two. One thing that really surprised me was how social the experience of austerity could be. So especially when you think about the household. When I started, I focused a lot on how individuals would be affected by austerity, but it turned out that a lot of individuals felt affected because they saw their friends being affected, they saw their family being affected, they saw their colleagues being affected. So this experience of austerity, the effects of austerity, were way more social, way more in relationship to others than I expected at first sight. Another thing that surprised me, so it also, I'm not sure if it's exactly in this paper, but one of the things that surprised me was the effect austerity had on going to school for a lot of youth from disadvantaged urban areas. Before the crisis, a relatively high number would drop out of secondary school to start work, mostly in the construction sector. And with or after the financial crisis, the number of jobs available declined, and as a result, this alternative option to going to school was no longer there. I think the impact on this paper is, on the one hand, its academic impact. It's been cited by other academics that either investigate austerity, but also that do critical policy studies or study youth transitions. I think what it offers there is that it has it offers a framework to again look at a triangular interactions between, on the one hand, policy, in this case austerity, the other hand, different places, in this case disadvantaged urban neighborhoods, and then individual characteristics of the people you work with. I think here I try to tease out this triangular relation. So how does it affect different people in the same place, and how does it affect, or how do people experience the changes to place? When I started it, I didn't necessarily perceive of it as interdisciplinary, but over time I came to realize that even though I did my work in a human geography department, it could have been carried out in a sociology department. It could have been done in critical policy studies. So I think because it's very grounded, because it really looks at how a particular set of people live in two particular places, there is this combination between politics, economics, culture, and geography coming together.
I hope you enjoyed our discussion and that I'll see you next time for another interesting video.